So, first topic today, yeah, cloud computing. That I mentioned, cloud computing is an important part. So, it's not only for data actually. You are working in some particular topics, or it's not on data. Maybe you are working as a tester for a particular company or anything. Cloud is a mandatory thing you need to learn nowadays. Okay, because the on-premises servers and all. Okay, first of all, let me say something. If we are working in a particular project, the project, suppose just PyCharm I have installed over here. I need to learn Python, or I need to code in Python in a particular project. Okay, the project you are working, you need to code it there. But you are coding in your local PyCharm. That is fine. But to make this code to be run, then that PyCharm window will not be helping you. The code will be running somewhere that would be running, and your data will be loading, or anything would be occurring in a particular server. Maybe you're working in a client. Okay, client has provided you the network. Within the client network, you need to run somewhere the Pythons in a job or anywhere, so that it can load the data in the same network. And that is the thing. So in local, we are trying it over here. But when we are live in a project, when we are working in a project, that should be run inside a server. The server must be there inside the client network. Suppose I'm working in an insurance company. Insurance company has its network. Insurance company has its dedicated server. So I need to run the Python code into that servers. Okay. This is the concept I tried to say. But when earlier, the servers are hosted into a particular zone, particular data centers. Maybe it's in USA, northern USA, or any other stuffs, any other location of your country. And some specific thing you can do on top of servers. Suppose you need to increase the particular hard disk of the server. Then you need to raise the request to the particular infrastructure team. They will take some time. They can increase the servers. But the concept of cloud is the server is hosted in somewhere, that is fine. But if you have the access to that cloud, you can quickly increase the hard disk within 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, of that server. Server means a laptop or a desktop. So you can quickly increase it within a minute. Okay, this is the concept of cloud. So that is why now onwards, the particular server is also there in particular data center. But it's been showcasing such a way that so that everyone can access it, and everyone can able to increase its functionality. One more example I want to say. So you want to learn a uh, particular tool. Okay, suppose Tableau. Tableau requires as of now 8 GB RAM and some SSD hard disk. So you do not have that particular configuration in your laptops. So you bought a new laptop with some high price from shop. So you bought it, you installed Tableau, you learned Tableau, you are working in Tableau. It's fine. Now after a few days, Tableau launched its next version, and the requirement for Tableau, it's required 16 GB of RAM. Instead of 8, it requires 16 GB of RAM, some high processors. The core number should be high. So what should you do with the laptop that you bought in last year? Last year Tableau version was something, and today Tableau version is another thing. It's modified, and you must need to try it. Okay, so what you will do? You need to sell this laptop, and you need to purchase another new laptop for that. It is not a good approach actually. In another next year, you have to change your laptop again to accommodate your software. This is one example. But if you working in a cloud, okay, so cloud, you have the ability to choose which particular server to launch or spin up. So in the catalog, you can see the particular RAM, the particular configurations. Lots of servers are available in the cloud. Just choose any one of them and launch it. When you are launching it, when your server is ready, suppose you have launched a Windows server, so it's similarly working as this particular desktops and all. So over there, you can install Tableau, and when your particular Tableau has been, their particular version has been upgraded, you can just decommission this cloud desktop. It's hardly take 1 or 2 minutes, and you can get the same price. In your physical laptop, you will not receive the same price. Suppose you have bought the laptop by 70 lakhs INR, but while selling the same thing after 1 year, you will not get the full money. Even you will get very less money. Maybe it's half of the total money. Okay. But over here in cloud, if you are, want to sell the existing server that you could launch few days ago or 1 year ago or anything, you will get the full price. Actually, you will not get. The concept is such like that how many hours you will be using that particular server, you will be chargeable for that hours only. Okay, so your requirement is completed, then you can scrap that particular server. You can decommission that particular server. Any new server required, you can launch it again. This is the concept. Going to the next slide, then that should be helpful to understand. So cloud computing is the on-demand delivery. So when the demand is there, just launch the product. So cloud computing is the on-demand delivery of compute power. It will help us with compute power when it is required. Not only compute power, it will be also helping us database storage. So we are working a lot of database tools just like MySQL I have showed to you. So database storage, several applications. So when it's required, when I am in demanding, I need the demand, need the demand to be met. So I can quickly open the cloud and I can launch the product and pay as you go pricing. So how much time I required it, I have to pay for it. This is the thing. I no need to pay for entire thing. Is it understandable what I'm saying? Just like two examples of that I mentioned
Yeah,
over
yes, sir.
here.
I'm able to
Okay.
understand.
Okay, fine. Now, based on the service of cloud, I think this pictures is very much important. Okay. This picture is very much important based on the different services that we are receiving from cloud. So on-premises one that I mentioned earlier, nowadays they are migrating. Each of the company who are still using on-premises services, they are migrating their services to on-premises to cloud. Cloud is helping us with these three services. One is infrastructure as a service, one is platform as a service, another one is software as a service. Cloud is providing any three of them. But the main difference of the three services is you can see the portion is, particular portion is highlighted in orange, some particular portion is highlighted in green. The green one, if you are choosing any one of the services from the cloud, the green one should be maintained by the user who is taking advantage of cloud, and the orange one should be supported by the cloud itself. Okay. uh, Let me show you some example. Suppose I told you Tableau, you install Tableau for a particular server. So for this kind of service, you just get help from cloud to launch a server. Okay, so their cloud will be providing you this kind of infrastructure. They will be giving you some network. They will be first giving you some servers, some storage spaces, networking, of course. The particular server you launched, but that should be connected to internet as well. Otherwise, you cannot able to see the server from your local system. Okay, and virtualization should be also provided to you. These four things will be supported by cloud, and cloud will hand over the server to you. Then you need to maintain those stuffs, the data, the middleware. Okay. The particular application means the particular software that you installed. If suppose you installed a particular software called Tableau over there. So Tableau is being supported by you. Suppose you need to install a higher version in the same server. So you have to uninstall this Tableau and install it again with the higher version in the same server. So infrastructure as a service, cloud will provide these four things and you need to maintain these things. We can also take cloud's help as a platform as a service. There we just need to maintain only these two, application and data. The rest of the stuff should be maintained by cloud. Okay. And the last topic is software as a service. There we no need to check about the servers and all. If you open the cloud console, there you can also get the option. Suppose Tableau is not available there, but I'm just giving an example. So you can also find Tableau applications there. So you can directly launch the Tableau application. So you can get the options there, variety of Tableau versions. Suppose Tableau 1.0, Tableau 1.1, Tableau 1.2. These kind of versions are available. Which version is required to you? Just open and launch it. So no need to think about the server where it is hosted. They will take care of everything. The patches, the servers, everything. No need to check anything. We just have to launch the applications. This is same thing for just like we worked in MySQL database. We are installing the databases over here. We are checking the data. If any patches related to that particular software needs to be updated, we can update the same thing over here in our local system. Local means on premises. But I can also bought some particular servers from cloud. I can install those software, and that thing should be infrastructure as a services. Platform services, runtime, middleware, and this operating system should be taken care by the cloud vendors, and we can have only application. I'll be checking the application part and data part over there. And the last topic, it's make us idle. They will give us ready-made available database. Okay, that can be called RDS or anything. We just have to launch on the icon and our database should be ready. That's it. Just we need some time to configure this thing. Suppose a few forms, a few data we need to insert while doing the things, but our software will be ready. So just a quick question to you. So you are choosing any one of them. Okay. So what should be much cost? This one, or this one? What should be cheaper? What?
Software as a service.
Last one, correct?
Yeah, last one.
Last one, they are maintaining everything. But
Yeah.
over here, yeah. So it's based on totally the project requirement, the project architecture. They are checking with the budget. Okay. They're checking with the budget and all. And based on that, if they check that we just need the servers only, all the application we need to we can install by ourselves. No need to take all the advantages from cloud. Okay. If this is the scenario, then they can choose this thing. And if the project has much more budget to launch their projects and all, so they will directly go ahead with this thing. Okay. So which one should we choose? Architect will decide that particular part, and then we can work on top of cloud. So this is the overall concept of cloud. Moving to the next slide. advantages on cloud computing. So it's easier IT system management, low upfront cost. Cost is very less that I mentioned. As I gives you some example on top of that, uh, you need to install particular things in your local for your daily purpose as well. You can use any one of the cloud providers. Launch a server, you can work on top of them. If your work is done, just shut down that server. That you can do as well for your daily purpose. Reduce downtime. Downtime is very less. Disaster recovery. Okay, this is one of the important thing. So you are launching a particular servers in a particular location. So that in a physically that particular thing should be there in a particular data center. Okay. Suppose something would have happened, some disaster could have happened, and that can damage the data center. But your data and everything should be restored in another location. So while choosing a particular region of your component, I'll be telling this thing quickly. So while launching a particular component, you need to choose a particular region. Okay, region means the data center region. Okay, but the same way you are choosing the region, but it's not only limited to this region. They're also keeping backup of the same data into another region, so that if some way that particular disaster occurs and disrupted that particular data centers, so that they can easily make clone of it to the backup from the backup system. That is why it's called disaster recovery. Accessibility. It's easily accessible from your local system. From local system, I can launch my virtual desktop and I can connect there. So if you are already working in some company, do you working, during the COVID scenarios, COVID situation, you are working there.
Yeah, yeah, Swatik, I used to work.
So there you need to launch some VDI, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So this is the VDI. VDI means it's been hosted in some of the cloud. It's in hosted in some of the data center. Okay. But you are controlling that particular desktop from your local system. Okay. So that is why I can also work. I give you that example. I want to install a particular softwares and all. So no need to buy the laptops again and again. Suppose I need to do accomplish my course within 1 month or 2 months. For that thing, I should not purchase a laptop. I can quickly buy or launch a particular server into the cloud for my local purpose only, for my learning purpose. That is also possible. So it's highly accessible, highly scalable. I can decrease the particular hard disk. Okay. Suppose I required my particular system says filling up quickly. So I can quickly increase the hard disk. Yeah, lightweight, of course, because we are not controlling it, we're just launching it from here. No need to carry the servers with you. You're carrying laptop here and there, but if you are storing it in cloud, so you can quickly go to any cyber cafe or anything, just launch your virtual desktop there. You need the ID passwords and all, and you can work from anywhere. So no need to carry the laptop. Okay. Okay, to adopt the cloud, those are the main thing. You should be having internet connection, good security. There is recurring monthly cost. So while launching or while signing up any particular cloud vendors, there should be you need to uh, you need to add your international debit card or credit card there. Okay, so what monthly cost should be there? That would be imposed on top of that. So there is recurring monthly costs and all. Okay, now I'm directly going to this AWS. So in our examples of cloud, The basic things I just covered over here, and we'll be giving you demonstration on top of this Amazon Cloud Vendor that is called AWS. Let me open AWS console as well. How AWS looks like. Okay, AWS console login. This is the main homepage of AWS console. Okay, so you need to first sign up. When you are signing it up, yeah, root user is the main head user for a particular account. So you need to open an account there. Okay, there is two kind of user. I'll be mentioning these things quickly. Okay, let me tell you right now. Then I can skip it that time. So you can sign in either way. Either it can be root user and it can be IAM user. Okay, root user should be the beginning one. So suppose you are the account manager of a particular project or product, or suppose you are owning the particular account of AWS. So you just have to sign up this thing with your mail IDs and all the requirement stuffs over here. And you are launching several products for your usage. Suppose you are the account manager, you are doing the same thing. You have launched databases, you have launched some servers, you have launched some data buckets and all. Lots of components you have launched. But there, when you are providing, when your project is ready, on top of that, you want that handover to the support team so that support team can daily basis support it. Okay. So while supporting this thing, suppose you want a security. Security means you want a particular component should be supported by a particular team only or particular persons only. Then you can create separate IAM role. IAM means access management, internet access management. I hope so. So what for a particular account? Oh, sorry, not internet. It's my bad. Identity access management. It's there in my next slides. Identity access management. Correct. So for a particular component, you can segregate the access part. Suppose database part you want to give access to particular people. So you can set some of the IAM roles for databases part, some of the IAM roles for server parts, some of the IAM roles for the data lakes part, anything. So you can control the access of those users by IAM. Okay. So root user should be having access for the entire account, but the IAM users they can access to this particular component by their IDs or account IDs. So this is the thing. Actually, root user is everything for that particular account. IAM user can be the subset of some of the component they can use based on how uh, how they are getting access. Okay, this is the entire concept. So when you are able to successfully sign up AWS console, the console should looks like in this. Okay, at the top right hand corner, you can see which region the particular. If suppose you want to launch a particular project, I mean product. Okay, then you need to check which region you want to launch the product. You need to choose the same thing in right hand top corner over here. There's a drop down, and you need to choose this thing. Overall, every regions of world, they are creating their data centers and the regions. Okay, you can see it's in US as well, it's in Africa as well, it's there in APAC region as well, it's there in Australia as well. So overall, every region it's available, its facilities available, but you need to choose based on price. So you can see each of the component, a particular server's pricing is getting changed based on different region. That is also possible. Or for low latency, you must choose the data center should be located nearby you. So as you are locating in US, maybe in east or west or any particular portion of US, you need to choose a particular location which is nearby you. So based on your requirement, suppose you are not bothering the latency. So there may be hardly some microsecond latency actually. Not big latency or not big delay. So, but you require the particular pricing part. So you are checking which region is having the least price for a particular component. Then you can launch product into that region only. Okay. So region is the important thing over here. You can get the region related information or default region is selected over here. If you want to change the region, just click on the drop down and select the region. Okay. Okay. The next slides at the top hand side over here in the black portion, you can see services. So if you click on there, what are the different kind of services AWS can helping us out? It can show to us just like compute services, blockchain services, analytics services, quantum technologies, storage services, satellite services. Okay, those are all the services. Okay, just like a quick example for compute services, you want computational tool. So there lots of components are available. Those are all components are available. So you need to choose or launch any one of them. Okay. Just like for analytics services, your data is ready. So data analytics team will analysis on top of that thing. Actually, it's not our work. Uh, the architect team will help us with the architecture diagram and all for which particular tool we need to use. They will determine for us. And when it's determined, then maybe as a support member or maybe as a developer member, we can also launch that particular product. But the decision which particular product to be launched and all, they will determine based on the requirement from product owner and all. Okay, they will discuss with product owner, they will check the budget, they will check what is the feasible thing, feasible solutions from cloud. Based on that, they need to choose the particular component. Okay. The services part, I can also get it from here as well. I just showed to you over here. It's available over here as well. Services, click on there, and in the below portion, all the services are available. Analytics, application integration, AR and VR, AWS cost management, blockchain. These kind of services are available. If you click one of them, then all the particular tools will be available over here. That's the thing. Okay. And there is a search box over here. In each of the page, you can see this is a search box. In the search box, you can directly search with a particular component. Suppose you want to launch a S3 bucket. Okay. Directly search with S3. Then here it will be visible. If there is already a launch product is there for your account, then it will be showing that thing. If anything is not launched, then it will be showing nothing is launched. Do you want to launch it? This kind of stuff they will be showing to you. Okay. I just made some services versus tools over here. Suppose just like analytics, you want to have some analytics tool. So if you just choose analytics services, you can find this kind of tools available. Amazon Athena, Amazon EMR, Amazon Redshift, Amazon Kinesis, Amazon QuickSight, Glue Data View. So each of the things should be having a specific thing. Just like I worked in Amazon EMR, it is working in big data processing. Okay. Amazon Athena, it's working interactive analytics. So which particular thing you need to do based on that, you need to launch this product. Okay. Data lake. Suppose you need to choose data lake. Over there, those are various options. Based on your requirement, you need to choose it. based on pricing systems as well. S3 is one of the important steps we'll be learning tomorrow, how to spin it up and all. Several computing services, AWS EC2, Lambda, Beanstalk, Fargate, Wavelength. So those are available components for compute services. Okay. Now there's nothing to tell on deep on top of that, so I'm just keeping this thing. Just remember those are the different services, and inside the services, those are different components available over there. Keep remembering the name. Suppose you are onboarded in a project, but you do not know the names. They are telling something. Just have some idea. What is EC2? It's a compute services. EC2 basically it's a server. Okay, Elastic Cloud Compute. E for Elastic, C for Cloud. There is EC2, 2C is there. Elastic Cloud Compute. That's why they are telling EC2. Okay, EC2 is nothing but the servers that we are launching. It can be a remote desktop. By remote desktop, we can launch it by using Linux software, just like PuTTY and all. We can also launch it. Database services. So that database that we are using in our local, just like MySQL, the ready-made database are available over here in Amazon. Aurora, Postgres, Oracle, all those database services are available there. Those are NoSQL databases also available. DynamoDB, Neptune, Elastic Cache. Those are not SQL. Some of them are maintaining graph theories. Neptune, just like this. DynamoDB is NoSQL. It's running on NoSQL part only. Okay, here is the important steps. So, as you are owning a particular account, your lots of products are getting launched and all. So, before launching it, you need to choose the particular component based on the pricing steps. How the price is getting deducted. This is very important thing. So, AWS calculator is available there. You can just quickly launch it. I'm giving you some example. Top up EC2. EC2 is that server only. I'm just going to show you how the pricing thing should affect. So suppose you need to launch a particular EC2 server. Okay. So there is the option. There is various instance name. Instance name is just like T4G Nano. It's an instance name. What the instance has having the specification? Here it is. It's having two CPUs. Memory means the RAM memory. The RAM is 0.5. Network performance is this. And the hourly cost is 0.0042. It's very minimum because the RAM is very less. If you go ahead with higher RAM size, you can see it's been increasing. Okay. You can choose some more. Okay, here is the option for the filter. Suppose you want to choose 8 or more than that. 7.5 or any other thing more than that. Any CPU more than suppose 8. Okay. You can search for it. Okay, 8 CPU, 16 GB. You can see the cost has been increased 0.204 USD per hour. This is the costing steps. You need to estimate how many hours it will be running and how many total price. You just have to estimate on top of that a monthly cost. What should be this? Based on that, all the components. I just showed you the example for EC2. There are lots of components you need to launch to get ready for your project. So when everything is ready, just I have an idea which particular thing should be costing, which particular monthly cost should be available there. So just calculate it, a monthly rough estimate you should have to do, and then you can launch the product. It's not you actually, I'm telling the particular architect who is designing the entire pipeline or framework. Okay, they are designing the framework. That's why they have to determine what are the different components I need to use. Okay. Yeah. The things are getting clear to you? Questionnaire?
Yeah, yes, Swaptik.
Okay. Yeah, we are almost into this topic. Yeah. So if you are new to AWS, then they will be helping us with a free tier account. Okay. Free tier services. In the free tier account, maybe 30 days trial. Okay, let me show you. If you just search with free tier services, they will be helping you out. AWS free tier account. And just search with it. They will be helping you out which are the components that are free in nature. Okay. So actually it's 12 months free trial, 12 months free. So in the 12 months free, you cannot access all the components as free. Okay, there is the option. There is particular specification T2 micro or T3 micro, depending on the region as well. Some region it cannot be free. Some region it should be free. Okay, it's saying 750 hours per month, but you need to use Linux RHEL SES. Okay, it is also free. T4 dot small instance dependent on region. 750 hours T2 micro. Okay, for Windows system, T2 micro and T3 micro instance depending on the region. Those are free for 750 hours per month. All the things have been written over here. For each month, 750 hours is free for this particular instance. Instance part I just showed to you in last slide. So you just need to check T2 micro is having how much CPU and RAM involved over here. Okay. The same thing is for there for storage spaces. For S3 bucket, especially 12 months free, how much request you can put, get request, put request. Those are the separate kind of request to fetch the data. Get means to get request, get means to get the data, put means push the data into that bucket. RDS is one kind of database services. So this is the total hours. Okay. Based on that, all of the component is having some free tier facility. You can check these things out before launching the product. Okay. So as you are a beginner, you can try with a free tier account. No need to worry about it. You can launch it. You can sign up this and launch the free tier accounts. So that is why it's also, I mean, as you are attaching the credit card details and all, but you do not have the idea what are the free tiers and what are how many costs should be imposed on top of that. It should be a high risk. You have launched a very expensive product, and in after months over, you can see there's lots of monthly cost has been imposed on top of your credit card. So this is the thing. So before launching the product, please verify the cost calculator and the free tier account as well. Okay. Yeah, I am at that thing I have also already mentioned during the logging part, identity access management. The management part, I mean, that access management part that can be done by the root users to access individual part of this a particular components and all. CloudWatch. CloudWatch can help you out to monitor your systems. Okay. Suppose the networking, how much network you are utilizing, the packets in, out, the utilization of CPU. Okay, just like you can see the performance of CPU over here as well in our local system, the same thing you can also see average CPU utilization. This kind of things you can directly check in CloudWatch. It's one of the component. It can be available for every account. No need to launch for this product. Just type CloudWatch and put enter in this particular search box. it will be helping you your accounts CloudWatch. Okay. Yes. Another concept is VPC and networking. So when you are launching any particular product, specifically a server, you need to tag this server to a particular VPC. It's a network, nothing but a network. If you are not attaching this thing, if you are not giving any IP address to this server, you won't able to access this thing by your local system or any other system. So whatever product you are launching, that should be attached with a particular VPC. Okay, so that should be having an IP address. Otherwise, that thing should not be properly used in a particular cloud. Okay, and this is the architecture diagram from a particular architecture. They are designing this kind of stuffs based on the requirement. They are creating this kind of pipelines. They're creating this kind of structure, architecture. Okay, so they are using S3 bucket. This is data sources. They're creating S3 bucket. They are creating EMR clusters. Again, S3 bucket. Redshift. This is a database for analysis purpose. Then QuickSight. QuickSight, maybe it's a reporting tool, analyzing and visualize the data in Amazon QuickSight. Okay, here they are using Amazon Athena for ad hoc access data using Athena. Athena has been used to check the data from S3 bucket here and here. Okay, so those are the different thing. I mean, maybe your project is using a different architectures. So based on that, we need to determine the same. Yeah, that's all for first day session. Tomorrow I'll be just helping you out some more demonstration inside the cloud itself. Suppose how to launch a particular server. So you are quite new over there. You have the responsibility to launch a particular component. So how to launch that particular component from AWS. So tomorrow we'll be learning that part. Okay. So this is the overall thing for AWS. We have covered AWS over here, but I'll be recommending just have some ideas on top of Microsoft Azure. This is also a cloud provider from Microsoft side. And you can also just quickly touch base on to get the knowledge from GCP, Google Cloud Platform. So those are almost same. The concept is almost same, but their UI is different for each of the scenarios. User interface. Have some idea on top of that. That should be helpful for you to get the overall concept. Okay. Okay. Any doubt?
No doubts, Suptak.
Okay. Fine. Let's connect tomorrow for the rest of the cloud.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.